Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai, hara mai ki te ao Hākinakina, your sports show right here on your Tribal Pulse, te kore mako o Taranaki, 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, raised in Eltham and Stratford, she comes from sporting pedigree and humble beginnings, representing the Canberra Raiders in the NRLW and also the Matatū and Super Rugby Aupiki. She has all the skills to perform at the highest level. She's a dual international that has represented New Zealand in Rugby Union 7s and 15s, as well as the Kiwi Ferns in Rugby League. So no mai, hora mai, Cheyelle, Robins-Reti, kia ora.
Kia ora, how are you?
Good, thank you. Hey, good to have you on the show. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and kōrero to us.
No, thank you for having me.
Awesome to have you on the show. Hey, before we start, just a quick ko wai koe, no he koe, a bit about yourself and where you're from.
So obviously I hail from Taranaki, grew up in Eltham in my primary school years, was a bit of a gypsy, moving over to Perth with my mum. I went to high school there and then, made my way back in 2016 to pursue my dream of playing rugby, and then just been jumping around the place. Have a whare up in Tauranga at the moment, but now currently in Christchurch.
Oh, nice. A bit of a gypsy, you reckon. So tell us a little bit about your childhood. I understand you were born in Tamaki in Auckland and you were raised in Taranaki?
Yeah, so I was born in Auckland, but then brought back down to Taranaki. Mainly grew up within Eltham, and then we have a homestead out in Stratford, which Nan and Poppy still live at the moment. So I went to St. Joseph's in Stratford for a bit of my primary school, and same with Eltham Primary. And then probably moved back over to Aussie when I was about 12 and went to high school there. But yeah, mainly most of my early years definitely was in Taranaki with my mum and grandparents, and my little cousins.
Nice. And was it always Rugby Union and Rugby League for you as a young girl, or was there other sports that you played?
Definitely was like heavy rugby, obviously having Poppy and my uncle playing at professional level for rugby. My mum was, I'm not too sure what the name was back in the day, but she was within amongst the netball team that used to be, it's called the Pulse now, but I can't remember what it was called before. But netball was a big thing for her as well, and my grandmother. So netball was quite up there, and then just a little bit of touch here and there.
Nice. I think that netball team might have been the old Western Flyers, might have been the team.
Yeah. So she was juggling that and while having me. So I was pretty grateful that I had a big support. Well, she had a big support system to look after me, so she could still continue to do that. And then when we moved over to Perth, she was able to coach some of my teams over there. And then I was lucky enough I got to play with her at women's level. So yeah, very grateful.
Awesome. Obviously, come from sporting pedigree there. Now I've got a good mate called Bryce Robbins, Barnesy.
Yes.
Now, so what's his relation to you again?
He's my uncle. He's actually my godfather. He's my mum's brother, younger brother. And obviously, he growing up, he was probably the one I guess looked up to in the rugby realm. But obviously, being a girl, I always wanted to be a little All Black. And as I grew a little bit older, obviously having the Black Ferns there was a awesome aspiration to try and make that team. But yeah, we've always had challenges having sprints on the beach, or when he comes home we'll do a bit of training. So yeah, it was always awesome to have him growing up.
Awesome. Yeah, he's a good man. His old man was a pretty handy player, your koro as well. So
as he tells me.
Hey, now you moved over to Perth with mum. How was, you said you were 12 years old, how was that transition for you, like moving all the way from little old Eltham and Stratford all the way over to Perth? It's a long way from home, but an awesome place. How was that transition for you, and did you enjoy your time in Perth?
Yeah, I did enjoy my time because there's quite a few Kiwis over there already. A lot of their parents were over in the mine, so doing something similar to my stepdad was out there in the mine. So once we moved over there, I think it was a little bit daunting, but my mum and my stepdad had already been there for a few months. But going in, I was lucky enough that I got a scholarship to Arranmore Catholic College, which was like a sporting a sporting school, and they had a rugby and netball program there. Originally, I started off with being in the netball program, but then I moved in my last year to the rugby one. But having, I guess, a little Kiwi base over there made it quite easy to transition from obviously being back home and then moving over there. The only other thing I probably would have missed was just having, I guess, having the Māori classes and our tikanga that we have here. We didn't get that much over there, but Mum and Nan try to instill some of that at home so they didn't lose it when I got home, and especially my accent. They make sure so I don't get teased by my cousins when I got home. So I didn't lose it that much, which is good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You mentioned Aramore College. I remember that I played against them once before when I lived in Perth. Now, really good school, with a lot of our Māori and Pacifica whānau at that school. I think my cousin went there, Ty White. Kia ora, cuz.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what were some of your memories from that school, and how did that help you kind of in that trajectory, kind of heading towards representative rugby and that?
I think having especially with specialized programs, we were able to have, like, during school there'd be specific classes where we'd do trainings. There'd be heaps of tours where we'd go away out of state and then verse other in other tournaments. And then I think a big part for me was when I got to my last year, I was like the first girl to get a rugby scholarship, but it was huge ups to Dwayne Grace, who runs the sport program over there. And he definitely encouraged me to, once sevens came around, to kind of pursue that a bit more. And then he became the state coach, and we went over to nationals and done quite well for a state that wasn't really strong, especially going up against like Queensland and New South Wales. And then I was lucky enough that I got asked to come into some Aussie sevens camps, but lucky enough I couldn't get a citizenship, so that's why I came home. But yeah, it was probably just big for especially Dwayne Grace to, I guess, within sporting, he made sure that I was doing my schoolwork, so I graduated, but also helped me, I guess, in the sporting realm too.
Awesome. Big shout out to Dwayne Grace. Went to the same school as him. He's a good man, still doing some good things over there in Perth. So shout out to you, bro. So you mentioned you couldn't get your citizenship, and I understand you moved home. You went back to Waikato to do your bachelor in sports and exercise. What was behind the shift home?
I think during school I was definitely missing that part of home, like just being, I guess, amongst my people. I did have some over there, but I don't know, there's just a different sense when you're back at home. And obviously once I knew that I couldn't, I guess, go any further over there within rugby, I knew that I had to come home and try and, I guess, become a Black Fern, which was my main goal. And then seeing that the Olympics was like 3 or 4 years away. And obviously even the study side, I couldn't get a scholarship there or get study links. So I came home, so I wasn't being a bum at Mum's house, and try to make my own way. Mum was very supportive at that time because I asked her during high school if I could go home and do boarding school, but she wouldn't let me. She wanted to keep her baby home. So I think, once I got to a stage where I asked to go home, she was willing to do so for me.
Oh, beautiful. Well, we're stoked you're home. And hey, in 2016, you ended up representing Waikato in the provincial women's rugby competition, and you've since gone on to represent the Paua. And now you're at the Matatū in Super Rugby Aupiki. How has this rugby journey been for you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Obviously, the first inception of Super Rugby, or what was it, in 2020 maybe, or 2021, sorry. It was awesome, obviously, just to have a different level of rugby coming from FPC. It's probably the best of the best within the country in the 4 provinces, and being able to showcase that on TV and to the younger girls and boys around the country was awesome for me, especially when, even though it was a bit of a muddled start, I think it was just like a great inception for women's rugby, and just to show another level that we have within the country.
Nice. Well, you've also had the honour of donning the famous Black Ferns jersey in both 15s and 7s. This must have been hugely significant and a proud moment for you and your whānau.
Yeah, it was massive, especially, well, obviously my poppy and my uncle, they're pretty proud of me, as well as the rest of my family. But I think moving over, I think once I debuted, they probably realized that I was really serious about it. And especially even making it into the Black Fern 7 squad was big for me. And I knew that it wasn't like, it was not easy, but it's easier to make the squad, but being able to stay in there for long periods of time is probably what I tried to do. And that's definitely what Poppy said. You know, it's easy to get in there, but you got to stay in there as long as you can, and make your mark. So I was, definitely lucky enough to be amongst some awesome professionals and learnt so much from the older players, and even the younger ones coming through. So yeah, very grateful, and they were just really proud of me.
Yeah, what an awesome honour, eh? And that's obviously taken you to higher heights. You've now in 2023, like many others from Rugby Union, have in recent times have kind of transitioned into that NRLW space. So you took up a spot with the famous Canberra Raiders. How was that transition for you? And have you enjoyed your time in the NRLW so far?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Obviously a different style of game, quite similar, I guess, with the skill set transfer from rugby to league, but it's just something a little bit different. It's a bit more, I guess, exciting, and you're always guaranteed like an attacking set if your team can defend well. But yeah, I just found it very exciting, and learning off. Well, I had Samai Mataufa helping me, especially when I transitioned, and Madison Bartlett, who was on my wing, just helping me grow in that space. But yeah, I definitely am growing to love it. Maybe a little bit more than rugby at the moment, but yeah, still both games have a piece of my heart, and I just love, I guess, being out. I'm lucky enough to still do it professionally.
Wow, awesome. All right. Well, off the back of your time in the NRLW, you had the opportunity to become a dual international, which not many people get to do, represent your nation and the Kiwi Ferns. Another proud moment for you and your whānau, I'm sure.
Yeah, especially when I got to debut in front of them up in Auckland. That was really special moment for me, and probably one that I'd never thought I'd be able to do so. Obviously, I was very grateful to be within Black Ferns 15s and 7s, and to be able to wear another black jersey in a different realm was pretty awesome for me. But yeah, I think within the space of a year, I didn't really see myself being within that squad. So yeah, I was just kind of in awe of the women that were in the team, and I was rubbing shoulders with Georgia Hale within my first year of playing rugby league. So yeah, very grateful that I got the opportunity to be able to do that in front of my whānau too, back at home.
And awesome to see the jersey that you're wearing too. That's the good old school Kiwis jersey there.
Yeah.
Too much. Now, hey, what was it like, for us here in Taranaki? We're only a little province, but we've got some amazing sportsmen and women from our little province. What was it like, being alongside Gail Broughton and Tiana Davison in their Kiwi Ferns kind of jersey? I seen a video of Gail, I think, picking you up from the airport. It was a real hard case, real Taranaki styles.
Yeah. No, it was good. Well, I think we were just kind of pinching ourselves being from the small Taranaki, and 3 of us being within that squad is awesome. And even seeing girls like Michaela Blyde, like there's a few of us coming out of Taranaki that are really, I guess, making our mark. And I just love that we never forget where we come from. I definitely, even though I was a gypsy and moving around, I always know that's my home. But yeah, it was just cool, especially from playing with Gail within 7s, and then now being within Kiwi Ferns with her was pretty awesome. Yeah, just have heaps of love for them.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's great. I know we all look upon, the games from back here, and with immense amount of pride to see our wahine tour out there doing it for their little province and for the country. So tell us a little bit. So you're playing Super Rugby Aupiki, and then there's NRLW. How does that, because obviously you played last year NRLW, now you're Aupiki. Is it quite hard to schedule both in that, or how does it all work?
Well, at the moment, for the past 3 years, there's been so we'd start Aupiki at the start of the year. It starts usually around March, and then because there's not as many round games, and the season's quite short, it finishes by at least the end of April. And at the moment, our preseason for NRLW doesn't usually start till the 10th or 15th of May. So there's usually last year there's a 5-week gap between Aupiki and NRLW. So I got a bit of time to spend at home and then head over there. But this year it's only 2 weeks. But I think next year the competition for Aupiki is going to expand. So the gap between each competition is probably going to close, and I'll have to choose one or the other. But I've just been lucky enough the past 3 years that there's, I guess I've been able to play both codes at the start of the year, and then the rest of the year I go over to Aussie to play NRLW.
Wow, full on schedule. All right. Pretty cool though, eh? Doing what you love.
Yeah, pretty much. Get to play code all year round.
Yeah, awesome, man. Hey, well, lastly, what would be one bit of advice you would give a young kōrero from here in Taranaki, around the back blocks of Taranaki that has aspirations to follow in similar footsteps to the likes of yourself, Gail and Tiana?
I'd probably, from like a sporting sense, I'd go play as many sports as you can. You hone so many skills within different sporting codes. So I definitely have got skills from netball and from touch that I've brought into rugby and rugby league, even a little bit of athletics. But yeah, try to do as many sports codes as you can to hone those skills in, and then probably just as you train and try to aspire to be at those higher levels, more so like know your worth, and some coaches may not pick you for a certain team, but probably don't take that to heart. Just know that your strengths may not be within what they see, but just keep, I think, being true to yourself as you get to those higher levels will take you a long way.
Beautiful, beautiful words of advice there for our young kōrero out there tuning in and listening in to Shay and all the awesome kōrero. Well, hey, thank you very much for sharing, an insight into your journey and the world of women's rugby union and rugby league. You're an awesome example of what is possible through hard work and determination, and that's something that many of our young kōrero here inspire to be like. So, from all of us here in Taranaki, we wish you all the best for the next phase of your journey, and just know that we're all here cheering you on from back home under our maunga.
Thank you. Appreciate it.